Hello there, everyone, and welcome to this Amazon Product Manager mock interview. Very pleased to say that today we are covering behavioral questions, which are super important in your Amazon interview, along all those leadership principles. And with me as our candidate today is Jason. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Jason, give the viewers a brief summary of your product manager experience.
Happy to, Tom. I'm Jason Hainge. I've been doing product management for the last 15 years. 8 years of that was with Amazon. And I've helped and mentored a lot of people with their Amazon interviews. And I'm happy to do so with working with you.
Absolutely. And Jason is a coach on our platform and has helped many people get offers from Amazon. So great to have him with us. Cool. Jason, if you're ready, let's crack on with the first question.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first question is, tell me about yourself.
That's a great question, Tom. Thank you. I can describe myself in 3 things. The first one is I'm a strategic and dynamic product manager. In the last 10 years, I've learned so much with working with different industries and with different leaders and teams. And I've always done my best to learn them and apply them into the product strategy into which the business I'm working with. In addition to that, as you know, the technical industry changes quite often. And that said, I would have to adapt and learn all of those so that I would have a progressive and dynamic execution plan for my strategy. The second one would be I love building relationships. And as you know, product managers cannot launch a product by itself. So with that, I have to work with a lot of different teams, especially with technical organization, not just with design and engineering teams, but also with sales, marketing, account management, customer service. Lastly, I can describe myself as a natural people leader. In the last 10 years, I've been managing teams, and I've enjoyed learning from them, and at the same time, giving them what I've learned and sharing my knowledge to my team. And that said, I've always done my best to make sure that they are delivering or performing at their very best, professionally and especially personally. To summarize, I can describe myself as a strategic and dynamic product manager. I'm a strong relationship builder and a natural people leader.
Great, Jason. Thanks for a great answer. To answer this very common question, you should prepare a story about yourself beyond simply what's already in your resume. This story or narrative should tie into the role and the job description. Put yourself in the position of the hiring team. Your answer should give them further reason to hire you. You don't need a framework to answer this question, but you should still structure your answer. As Jason did, it's a good idea to summarize your answer at the end to make it easier for the interviewer to take away the key points. Okay, Jason, let's crack on with question number 2. So why Amazon?
Thanks, Tom. I'd like to work at Amazon because of 3 things. The first one is it's Amazon's products and technology. I've been an Amazon retail customer for at least 10 years. And for most of the time, I've really enjoyed buying and going again and again with their products. At the same time, I've experienced very less problems. And if I do, most of the times the customer service are there to help me with my issues. The second one is the people. I have known and met and worked with a lot of people from Amazon, and they've always inspired me to always do my best, especially with their critical thinking, their product management discipline, and most of all with their strategic planning. It has helped me with my day-to-day as a product manager by just learning from them and applying all of those skills through my job. The last one is its mission. Amazon's mission is to be the Earth's most customer-centric company, and I very much align with that mission. As a customer itself, it's very helpful for me to understand and to what is being needed. And with that, being a product manager to be the voice of the customer or voice of the user has definitely helped me with applying those types of discipline and philosophies. In line with its mission is their leadership principles. Those leadership principles is very much well designed and thought of, that even though even though I have worked on different products, I've done my best to apply all of them. And I believe it has helped me by applying those leadership principles with my day-to-day job. So to summarize, I really like Amazon's products and technology, and I've learned so much about Amazon people, the workers, and lastly, I align myself with the mission and with the leadership principle.
Jason, thanks for a great answer. Amazon, as with any other company, wants to know if you'll be a long-term fit with its values and its way of working. Show you've done your research and talk about the leadership principles, as Jason did. It's also a good idea to show a strong knowledge of the company's products, as Jason did here too. Again, structuring your answer is important. Jason did this by giving 3 reasons, going through them clearly one by one, and then summarizing them at the end. With Amazon, mentioning one of the recent principles, such as strive to be Earth's best employer, shows you're up to date and you're aware of where Amazon is moving to, and that you're ready to move forward with any other changes the company makes. Okay, Jason, let's move on to question number 3. How have you previously measured customer satisfaction?
That's a great question, Tom. Thank you. I would start with as when there was a time when I was a product manager in the Amazon Marketplace organization, and I was in the individual sellers team. The individual sellers business is essentially comparable to eBay on Amazon. So any other sellers or individuals can come in, sign up to sell on Amazon, and you don't have to be a professional or you don't have to be a big business. So you and I can just go into Amazon and sell whatever product that we have according to the approved product categories. In addition to that, Amazon individual sellers are in the retail industry or in the market, and it doesn't include the digital space, like for example, Kindle or digital courses. So it only includes the physical products that you can sell. With that, there was time that I have seen that Amazon customers are not buying again, specifically from those individual sellers. And it's not a problem of conversion. Our conversion, we're doing very good. I was in line with the industry about 5 to 6%. But it was more of a one-time deal. We've seen and we've understood that some of the individual sellers only have one product at a time, but overall, the retention and the retention of those customers coming again to purchase is very much declining at a more rapid pace. That said, after talking to multiple Amazon customers about their satisfaction, their retention, their browsing experience, their purchase experience, I then talked to Amazon individual sellers themselves. As you know, Amazon Marketplace is a two-sided platform. So understanding the pain points and the issues of both sides from customers and sellers would be very beneficial for any product managers to come in and diagnose the problem and recommend the solutions to solve it. That said, the biggest solution to address the problem was to improve Amazon product detail pages, specifically by adding more pictures. What is the product usage? For example, is it used or is it new? And then another example is within the used category. Is it used acceptable? Is it used great? Is it used good? Having a better description or product usage of that that particular information, we believe will definitely help with attracting customers to purchase from Amazon individual sellers again. In addition to that, we've updated the description. So like, for example, how many times that if it's a used product, how many times have been used. And again, we've added a product category specific. For example, a lot of our products that is being sold from Amazon, from individual sellers, are books. How long have they gotten it? How long they have passed it around? So are you a third or fourth user? And if it is hardbound, is it still intact? Because some of those specific product categories are very important to understand. That what is the quality of this product, because we all know if it's a used product, most of the times the quality has declined. So having a better description of all of those will definitely help influence Amazon customers to purchase again. And lastly, as you know, from an Amazon product detail page, they have specific bullet points. I think before there was only 3. We've improved it to 5, and we've provided specific guidance, especially for individual sellers, on what to put in there. And again, we've catered into multi-product categories. For example, if it's an electronics, if you're selling a tablet, does it still have a charger? Does it still have a lot of accessories that it came with prior to it being a new product? So overall, we've focused on the content because based from our conversations with Amazon customers, it will definitely help them to convince to purchase from these individual sellers. Does that help, Tom?
Yeah, it does. I just wanted to dig into that a bit. I'm interested to know why you focused on the product detail page content rather than the product price, given that Amazon customers are well known to be very price sensitive.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I think that's a great question. Yes, Amazon customers, they are price sensitive, and that's why there's everyday low price. In addition to that, based from what we've known, based from our customer research, at least 95% of the products that are being sold by individual sellers are used products. So that said, it would be great for me to focus on a solution that is more focused into that particular type of category. And at the same time, most used products have been marked down. As we know, as I've shared earlier, the quality have usually declined because if you use it again and again, compared to a new product. That said, most of the prices for these products, for used products, have been marked down by 60%. So I think that's a great way to, that's a great solution to focus on the price itself. How can we continue to improve it? But in terms of the most pressing problem in terms of prioritization, I was convinced that focusing on the content on the product detail page will definitely help with the overall customer satisfaction, which leads to increased repeat purchases from the individual sellers. With that, what we've seen was very, very interesting and is very positive. The traffic, which is the impressions or glance views to product detail pages that were sold by Amazon individual sellers, increased by 20%. What we've seen was it has definitely influenced the internal search ranking algorithms, and at the same time, the external traffic algorithms as well. With more information, with more metadata in place, we were able to influence those crawler bots inside and external to Amazon, which resulted to increased traffic. In addition to that, because there are more images, there are more information, we've seen that Amazon customers that have purchased from individual sellers, they have come to look at, again, products from individual sellers. And overall, that has increased the repeat customer purchase by 10%. And we believe that increasing repeat customer purchase, if a customer comes back again and again, that is a heavy metric that customers are satisfied with the overall business or with the product. That said, we've learned a lot of things. As I've mentioned earlier, I was in the Amazon Marketplace organization. One of the learnings that I learned was understanding better a multi-sided platform. Identifying the players, especially the sellers and the customers on both sides, having a thorough user research will lead to a better information for us that would help us analyze what would be the best solution to move forward with. And with that, we were able to apply that learning and then have a positive impact to the overall product or business.
Okay, that's a really interesting answer. Thanks, Jason. Questions that ask to give an example from your past experience are known as behavioral questions, and we always recommend using the SIPSIL framework for these: situation, problem, solution, impact, and lessons. Amazon uses behavioral questions to test you on various leadership principles, in this case, customer obsession. How well can you listen to your customers? Talk about different methodologies, one-to-one, survey, focus groups. Show the interviewer you're obsessed with your customers, as Jason did here. You'll also want to demonstrate that you're a PM who knows your competition. After all, they're the ones who can take your customers away from you. Can you include an example of you getting their performance data or triangulating it to analyze your performance against the industries? In these types of questions, expect tough follow-up questions that will push you to delve into the details and the data. So be well prepared. Okay, Jason, let's crack on with number 4. Tell me about a time you struggled to meet a deadline.
Thanks, Tom. There was a time that I was a director of product in a human resource or an HR organization, which offers a software as a service product or SaaS. And I owned the mid-market and small to mid-size business customer segments. So it's a B2B company. And my purview or my roadmap focuses more on the B2B. I've also worked on the B2C or the business to consumer side, but for this particular situation, I was more focused on the business to business side. with that, I was able to learn that one of the problems that we've seen was our potential business customers wanted a faster way to purchase our products. And even before that, for more potential business customers, for them to learn the product. And that said, I have thought of a solution to develop a self-service and automated solution to for business customers to try and purchase our products. So it starts with a freemium offering or for a freemium service, and then it leads into an opportunity for those business customers to purchase it on their own without any other salesperson to assist them. Does that help, Tom?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm just interested. So developing a self-service solution kind of tends to be a tech-heavy investment. So yeah, I'm interested to see how are you able to move fast and launch the MVP with minimal specs.
Yes, that's a great question. I was able to move fast because I was able to leverage the existing platform and technology that we've had. The company has a site already, and then that would help with. We've known that business customers would come to our site for research, to read, to browse. And then at the same time, there was, I proposed a buy or build mechanism. In terms of buy, there are multiple companies that help smaller growth companies like us so that we don't have to develop our own platform. And then there was also a build strategy for us. So I did a buy or build strategy. In this case, I was able to do a little bit of mostly buy and then a little bit of build. I was able to, the building part was more of tying it into our data platform so that it would continue to personalize the browsing and purchasing behavior for our potential business customers. With all of that said, we outsourced most of the technology that help us purchase, and then from there, there was minimal specs for us to tie it in with our existing data to improve our site. Does that help?
Yeah, that answers that question. Yeah, thanks for that. Yep, feel free to carry on.
Great. So with that, it was still a very big task for us to launch a new product. Historically, the company has been, I would say, very traditional in terms of selling their products through a sales team. So there was still a lot of challenges with launching it. But at the same time, we were able to launch an MVP or a minimal viable product. And we were able to reach at least 500,000 of incremental revenue because of this new product. That was just the first year. We worked with the finance to have a 3-year projection, and it was projected to be more than it would be a multi-million revenue generating product. So that was very positive, especially for a smaller and growth company. Lastly, with the lessons that I've learned, the biggest one was to continue to learn and apply the new and best practices, especially with a more traditional industry like human resources. Most are the ones that they do in the industry. The usual practice is very manual. So having to automate that in a way that it's more self-service, and learning on what the overall industry, having that particular research that more than 30% of HR organizations within companies are ready to do a self-service purchase. So having to have that research and then learning all of those newer best practices and applying them definitely helped us to launch this product faster than we have expected.
This was a bias for action question. Amazon is looking to avoid analysis paralysis, so show that you're capable of moving quickly. Give examples of specific actions that you took that speeded things up. Jason did this by talking about a build or buy strategy. It helped his team to launch faster rather than having to do everything themselves. With bias for action questions, you'll want to include multiple lessons learned. Moving fast requires you to get into new situations, taking risks, out of your comfort zone. Things don't always go smoothly in these types of situations, so there should be lots of opportunities for learnings. Okay, Jason, if you're ready, let's crack on with question number 5. Tell me about a time you were challenged in public. How did you handle it?
That's a great question, Tom. There was a time that I was a lead product manager for a travel company, and my team owns the advertising products or advertising solutions that we offer to travel partners. And we work with multi-categories from hotels, airlines, car rentals, vacation rentals, and even cruises. So we own all of the categories for travel. With that, one of the problems we've seen was the ad revenue, specifically from mobile devices, are less than 10% of the total revenue for the company. And having a baseline with the industry, it is way below the industry average with that particular mobile ad revenue percentage. In addition to that, other product teams have continued to push back in launching new products and have even recommended to remove ads on the site because they believe that it disrupts the overall browsing experience from customers. And with that, I was in one of the an executive multi-team meeting wherein most of the leaders were invited to share your roadmap for the next quarter. And when I shared the problem that, hey, the mobile device only comprises 10%, my proposed roadmap was to increase launching new products. And one of the product executives from those product partners called out that they have seen multiple issues with ads, and they are basically proposing to not launch any other products on the site, ad products on the site.
Could you specify at least one of the issues with those ads, and also tell me how you were measuring them?
Yeah, that's a great question. The one of the issues with ads were it was perceived or was believed that customers are getting disrupted with the overall experience on the site. Specifically, there are some ad products that go outside of the company website, which goes directly to the travel company's site. So like, for example, it goes directly to the airline partners, or it goes to the hotel partners website. And some of the product teams in those categories have found that those conversions were being lost because they're not coming back, and they tend to purchase. And for us to measure them was basically the overall total conversion, and at the same time how those customers have come back to the company's website to purchase from us. Does that help, Tom?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, carry on.
So with that, the solution that I proposed was to launch multiple A/B tests to learn from them and to make sure that the issue of off linking to another partner site are definitely being considered. And with multiple ad products, especially focused on the mobile platform, it would help us increase the ad revenue from that particular category. With that said, I was able to put in a product roadmap that focused on mobile web as the first one in terms of priority, because it has the most traffic. The next one was mobile app. When I've looked at the mobile app for this particular company, they didn't even have any advertising products. So focusing on those two and prioritizing to know which one has definitely helped us to know which tests to launch and to perform. That said, we launched in a year about 9 A/B tests, and we had 7 test winners. Normally, we've baselined the A/B testing from our organization that the average A/B test is about 40 to 50%, and having 7 out of the 9 test winners, that's about 78%. So that in itself was a huge success in continue to increase the baseline of A/B tests, especially for product management. The most important impact was we delivered from these 7 test winners when it was launched. When we measured it later on from that year, it delivered at least 20 million in incremental revenue, which increased the overall total percentage of ad revenue from the mobile platform. So that has definitely helped with with the business revenue for the long term, and at the same time was to convince the business partners about not launching more ad products on their particular category, which segues into one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, developing stronger relationships, not with the organization, but with multiple product organization, having to understand their goals, having to align with an OKR, having to show them and work collaboratively with their roadmap has definitely helped us with launching our product roadmap. Even though we would have to, there were times that we would have to disagree with some of the pages that we wanted to launch and what type of products we would launch on. So that was definitely a special learning for us in launching this particular product.
Yeah, great answer. Thanks, Jason. So this question targeted the have backbone, disagree and commit leadership principle. And here the interviewer wants to know how good you are at listening, but also how good you are at persuading. That's why Jason's story talks about how he took on board the client's criticisms, but also was able to convince them that his course of action was the right one. The question also tests whether you're able to face conflict. Your answer should demonstrate that you have experience in dealing with conflicting opinions. This doesn't faze you, and you're capable of working constructively with people who may disagree with you at first. Jason did this really well, and he was able to dive into the details when the interviewer asked him to. Hello, I really hope you found that useful. If you did, you can like and subscribe, and why not come visit us at IGotAnOffer.com. There you can find more videos, useful frameworks and question guides, all completely free. And you can also book expert feedback one-to-one with our coaches from Google, Meta, Amazon, etc. Thank you and good luck with your interview.